Go monster got my toys. What are my toys? My toys.
What is going on, my She-Hulks, my Gremlins? It's another awesome edition of My Toys. And what do we have here today? We got the Super7 Ultimate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2002 TV series action figures, man. And I'm very, very excited, dude. This iteration of the Turtles has always been one of my favorites. You know, I feel like it draws a lot of similarities from the Mirage comics, like the Utrons, learning that it wasn't just only Krang. You know, the 1988 cartoon for me was always dope. You know, as a kid watching that, you know, I have memories. Like, I always loved the intro to that cartoon. I feel like it's the best intro, the best theme song. But I always wish that the intro Turtles, or how they look like in the intro, looked more like how they do in the show. But, you know, yeah. And then another episode I think that I remember was when when the Shredder was hanging out with the Turtles and he was like super cool. I forget, like he was on some kind of formula or something. But yeah, you know, these ones, I don't know, man. I really like this. I was like 22. You know, I was like, was I a kid? Then, you know, but yeah, for the most part, these Turtles, they all look the same. They look like this TV series, I'll tell you that, man, because the ones I have, the 2002 ones, and they don't look nothing like them. You know, they always pull the wool over our eyes and be like, this is what they look like, you know. But for these ones, man, they look like the TV series. They're pretty much all the same, you know. They got their weaponry, they got the same amount of hands, and they got 2 heads. I opted for that extra head pack, so they have 3 heads instead of 2, at least for me. You know what I'm saying? I figured, like, when they first announced this, they had that option, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. So I've been having these things on pre-order for like a year. But yeah, anyway, I'm excited. So for the most part, the packaging is also the same. It's just right here, the Turtles different, you know, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, the description, the name of the character, and the packaging is pretty nice. It's like the city. I guess he's on a rooftop or something. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then some nice dope ass artwork, man. So you could probably just cut this out and put it in a frame, which I might do. That's pretty much the packaging, with the difference being the Turtles, you know. So yeah, they look pretty fresh. That's Raph right there. That's Leo right there. And that's Donnie. Yeah, man. So we're going to eventually get these cracked open, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.
Yo, what is going on? I am the Ugo Monster. I am an independent hip-hop artist from the San Francisco Bay Area, Richmond to be exact, and a lifelong action figure collector. As an independent artist, I create my own music, shoot my own videos, build and manage my website, and I make action figure reviews. You can find my music on all streaming platforms. If you like to purchase my music, which that'd be dope, you can do so at ugomonster.com. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Back to the show. Peace.
And here we have them out the box. They look pretty awesome, man. I feel like they are, you know, cartoon accurate. They look like the cartoon. You know, we've had the Playmates 2003 Turtles before. I'll show you those and see how much of an improvement these ones we're looking at are. So let's go ahead and grab Raphael, man. He's going to be our main example. Pretty much the aesthetics of the Turtles are, you know, it's like kind of like a matte finish. And there's not a lot of variation of green on the Turtles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on this one right here, there's a little bit dark green right here. A mole spot that's really dark. And then there's a little mishap on the paint. And you know, one thing that pops out to me the most is the shell. Look at the shell on these figures, man. A lot of people don't like how, or at least I've heard that they don't like how the shell looks. But to me, I like that it's big, and it looks like the cartoon. For some reason, I was expecting it to be like, you know, brown like every other shell. I'm not sure if they made a mistake, but I like how it looks. And I like how big it is, dude. Because even when you look at the turtle, right, you see the shell outline on by his shoulders, right? Which is dope. And on the inside, you can actually see, you know, his body press up against the shell. Like, I don't think you could ever get that deep in a shell before on any figure. Look at that. Oh, you stabbed me right in the side, right? Bam, dude. That'd hurt if that you were a turtle, right? And these slip right in on his belt right there. You know, parts of the belt are glued on, like it's glued on right here. Then it comes apart right here, and then there's a gap. And then at the ridge of the shell, as you can see, it's glued onto there, you know. But yeah, man, he looks pretty fresh. He got that nice little angry face, which is dope. Look at that. He look like he about to. Oh, And now this one's looking fresh. You know, when I first pulled him out the box, I was just really having a hard time standing him up. But after a while, I broke him in and I got it to, you know, do what I wanted to do. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. The articulation on all these four figures are all the same. Okay, so let's start with the head. You know, it's on a head joint. There's this is how high he could look up. You know, tilt his head. There's articulation on the neck, which is nice. You know, and then articulation at the his shoulder. See, you gotta you haven't fully broken in all the way. There we go. Make him do a nice little T pose. So we got swivel right here at the shoulder. We got swivel right here at the forearm, which is pretty nice. Double jointed elbows, so we can make him drop the elbow. Big ass turtle. Boom, right? And swivel at the wrist and a hinge, so you could, you know, do some curls if you wanted to. But yeah. Put that, snap that back in. Put the arm back down, and let's see how far he can look down. That's not bad. That's not bad for a TMNT figure. Oh. You know? And then we have, let's go down to the legs. We got swivel at the thigh. You know, if we wanted to make him kick, this is how high he could kick. That's pretty dope. Damn. And then that's as bad as Cammy. That's tight. And then, yep. And then we got swivel at the calf, which is nice. I've never, you know, nice swivel at the calf. It's the same kind of articulation he has right here on the forearm. Double jointed knees, of course. You know, so he can do the tiger knee, kick a ball in soccer. And then hinge at the feet. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put the size back on my guy. Yeah. So articulation is pretty much the same on all these figures. You know. The face sculpt on it is nice though. That's just one of them. He has another grimy looking one. There's a smiley one. There's a smiley one that he has. And then here's Leonardo, right? Leonardo, like I said, articulation is the same, but let's just talk about how he looks. So the belts feel very loose. Like this is loose right here, but it fits and it snaps kind of back in. It's very rubbery, so you want to make sure you're not pulling on these so much. It'd be nice if he had something we can just snap this into, you know, because we're never gonna take the belt off anyway. So I wish they would have done something like that. But yeah, I wish this was just a little bit darker. I really like the black ones on the Super7 ones, you know, where he has a big X, which I forget that he had that. I always felt like it was just Donnie, you know. And, you know, a different color scheme. This one is kind of like a lighter grayish kind of green, you know. So, which is nice. You know, let's look at Mikey real quick. Mikey's pretty dope. Actually, I think Mikey might be one of my favorites. You know, this particular head sculpt, I thought they painted the mouth, but they actually sculpted it. So, you know, you could put like a pizza in there if you want to, you know, do a little shot of him eating some food. Yeah, man. This was nice. My only gripe, though, let me take the accessories back over here. My only gripe is that this right here is too loose, you know. It's too out there. And then I was wondering how it would work if I put these in here, you know. Because that's not bad. Put them like that. But then this one over here, oh yeah. Anyway, it's going to, you know, protrude after some time. You know, it's going to look kind of funny. But yeah, I thought he would have something to put something like the things. I thought he would have something to put the nunchucks on his back, but he doesn't. I'm not sure if he had it in this cartoon. So that's Mikey head sculpts on fleek. It's tight. And then Donatello, you know, my most disappointing turtle. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. I felt like he should have been more brown. He is obviously, he looks, he got the same kind of colored skin tone that Leonardo does, but it's just a little bit lighter. You know, I don't know if I remember him being brown in the cartoon, you know, café. And yeah, this one has a holder for his side. I mean, for his bow, you know. And I'm not a big fan of this particular head sculpt. And I feel like he has no neck. You know what I'm saying? He has no neck. This man looks like my homie Pavo, you know? So, yeah. Not my favorite out of all the four in this particular set. I still feel like that Super 7 upgraded Playmates one is the best Donatello of all time. They all come with the same pair of open hands. They all come with fisted hands. They all come with this T-phone, turtle phone, the iPhone before its time. Donatello comes with these goggles, which is pretty cool. So he has these spinning nunchucks. You just insert one of the nunchuck handles and then bam, it looks like it's spinning, which is pretty cool. Like I said, he comes with a pair of nunchucks, so you just snap these back in when you want him to, you know. I don't think I like the colors on the weapons. Kind of weak. But that's how it was in the cartoon. The cartoon is still dope, though. Here are the katanas for Leonardo. I've seen better katanas on the neck ones. There's a mishap. There's a mishap of blue on one of the handles, as you can see. Kind of lame, but whatever. These are very plasticky. You know, I like it to clink like the NECA ones do. Here are the size on Raphael. I wish these were a little bit more bigger and a little bit more silver. You know what I'm saying? This looks very white. Which is okay. The purple throws it off for me. And I wish it was a little bit darker purple, you know? All right, so let's talk about the head sculpts. That head sculpt's pretty cool. You know, Leonardo looks like he has a smirk. Here's his other head sculpt. He kind of looks like, you know, he's about to do some fighting. Like, it looks nice right there when it's on the side, right? Yeah. Yeah. When he's showing his teeth. That's dope. I'm going to take a shot like that. This one looks pretty cool. You know, it's kind of like a very, like, confident kind of smile. Like, oh, yeah, you think you're too cocky. I'm about to take you down kind of look, you know? But I feel like I lost his neck when I put this head sculpt on. Let's put on the original one. Yeah, I think I like this one more. Let's do Raph. So yeah, that's the head sculpt that it came with. Here he comes with another expressive head sculpt. This is an open mouth one too. I feel like this is how Raph would look like if he was yelling at you like, hey, Mikey, get out of the way. You're messing up the plans again. You know, something like that, right? This is not bad. And the bandanas I didn't talk much about this, but they're pretty tight. I like how long they are. You know what I'm saying? Like the wind's hitting them. So, yeah. And I don't know if there's articulation on them. Oh, there's a little bit of articulation. You can move them left to right. But yeah, that's one of the head sculpts. This is the third head sculpt. This is the extra one. This one's not bad. This one, he looks pretty grimy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to put some different kind of size in his hands, you know, because I feel like he look a lot more grimy, especially with this face, than with the plasticky ones that he came with, you know. Or the colored ones. But yeah, not bad. I like it. I like this one. I'm going to keep this one like that. And here we got Mikey. Oh, yeah. Look at him. Always smiling. I'm going to pull out this head. Yeah, here we got him with a very neutral face, right? Non-threatening face at all. Like if he got pulled over with this face, they let him go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, he needs a nice fighting face. You know, that's one thing that I didn't like about I didn't like the fighting face on the other Super 7 Mikey. And I didn't like his very smiley, goofy face. This one's pretty cool. This one reminds me of the cartoon. You know? Like, yeah. Doing the people's eyebrow. This was not bad. But for the most part, I am going to go with the one that it came with. You guys remember the Playmates Mikey that had his tongue sticking out? And, you know, he could spin? And here is Donnie, no neck Donnie. All right, so I'm gonna pull out this head. This is the third head that came with it. And you know, this grin, the teeth look nice though. The teeth look dope. Man's been brushing his teeth, man. You know, using that cocoa floss too. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what about this face that I don't like. It just makes me feel like Donnie isn't comfortable in his own skin. It's like he has to be comfortable doing his thing. You know, he can't be like my man Pavo on stage. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be himself. And this is not, he looks goofy. He looks like a guy trying to be tough. I'm telling you, man, they disrespect my guy all the time. And here's the last head that came with. This is the second head. The last one I just showed you was the third one that you would have to opt for to buy. But yeah, none of these heads I like on Donatello. You know, I might stick with this one. And actually, no, I'm going to put back the original one. You know, the man still has no neck, looking like a true Salvadorian. Yep. Yeah. All right, man, let's do some size comparisons. You know, after playing with them for a little while, they've grown on me. I love them. You know, and you know, initially when I was doing the review, I was kind of like, you know, but since I've had some time to play with it, you know, and I had to do a lot of stop and goes during this one, I really like them. I like them. Okay, we're going to do some comparisons. And here we are with the 2003 Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures, man. These toys are actually from 2003. That's what, 22 years ago? Man, dude. Yeah, I've had these figures for hella long. I've shown them on several other reviews. They got discoloration, as you can see. But these are what the ones in the back should look like, right? I mean, they come from the same cartoon. You know, and Playmates, that's what they do, man. They make these action figures and it make it seem like it's from the cartoon, and sometimes it doesn't look anything like them. But you know, when I first saw these on shelves, I was really happy to grab them. You know what I'm saying? And it's a trick because I remember back when I did grab them, I was like, oh man, they just they pulled out the ones from 1988, and for some reason I felt like they look exactly the same, but obviously they don't. But yeah, look how far they've come. You know. These turtles, like I said, are supposed to be the ones in the back, but they're not. And, you know, I've been telling you that Donatello should be a little bit more brown because obviously the action figure is. But if you actually see it in the cartoon, he looks just like the one in the back in terms of the color skin. But yeah, you know, it's just a big ass difference. Look at this Mikey. You know, a goofy ass looking Mikey smiling. It's supposed to look like this one, but you know, it's not. Look at the shells. Yeah. Playmates was like, I'm just gonna remake the ones we did in 1988, give it some variation, and do just that, you know. But and here we are with the first Super 7 TMNT figures, man. These particular turtles are supposed to be an upgraded version of the 1988 action figures that we got, you know, which that particular line is based on the cartoon that was put out, right? But yeah, look, dude. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, Donnie just looks grimy. That's the best Donatello of all time, like I've said, you know. But what I like the most, you know, is this is the same company. Look at the shell, you know, and then look at this. Look at that. Oh man, did that thing fall? Oh man. Oh, I just snapped it back in. Oh, look, the shell is what makes it for me. And we know it's another thing too, that these are the same height, but it feels like this one right here is bigger. You know, this one I think has to be the first. These Super 7 turtles right here have to be the first turtles that feel like a big turtle. It feels like a turtle because of the shells, you know. You know, I'm just infatuated with these shells. Like I feel like I can put their bodies in there, you know, because a lot of the shells are small. But nah, man, these look like they can take a few bullets. But yeah, these are the two Donatellos. You know what I'm saying? And you know, let's give Super 7 some props, man, because they've done a lot in terms of trying to improve articulation on their figures, especially on this, because usually they're just basic, right? They're just like the articulation is pretty simple. There's no double jointed elbows, double jointed knees on this one. You can there's a little swivel right here on the calf. No swivel here on the forearm like it is on that Donatello. But yeah, they've improved it so much. You know what I'm saying? So they've done some improvements in terms of articulation and making sure that we can do some more posability. And here they are with the NECA TMNT Turtles, man, from the Mirage Comics line. Yeah. All right, so let's compare. Let's do Raph with Raph. All right. Look at this. Look at this comparison. Look how I'm telling you. First of all, let's look at the shells, man. Oh, and by the way, it's pinless on the Super 7 action figures. Look at that. Bigger shells, no turtle tail. Maybe the turtle tail's tucked into the shell and it only comes out when he's excited. I don't know. But yeah, check it out. It just trips me out how much bigger this one feels and looks like, but they're actually the same size, man. And when you turn them around, like I said, like I like how the shell sticks out and it outlines. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty dope. But nice comparison. Let's see how the other ones look like when compared to their counterparts. Oh, that's Mikey. Yeah. Leo against Leo. And finally, Donnie against Donnie. Yeah, so at the end of the day, what are my final thoughts? I think that they're dope, man. They've grown on me. I like them. You know, it dawned on me, right, that if they did that move where they squish an opponent like this, it would hurt them more. Like it works with these turtles. The other ones, I feel like that move wouldn't be as effective. It wouldn't knock anybody out. You got a lot of head scopes. You know, you got 3 for each turtle. The weaponry, you know, could have been a little bit better. Like I don't really like the size on Raph. I don't like the rubbery belt Leonardo has. You know, so in the contraption on the back that like I feel it will eventually snap off if you move it a lot. But other than that, man, you know, I think they look solid. You know, they look solid. The articulation is good for a turtle. You know, it's good for them. You know, I mean, Super 7, you know, it's an upgrade from their last iteration of TMNT figures that they did, their first one. So they've done pretty dope. Like I've never seen the technology where they have a swivel right here at the forearm and right here on the bicep and the forearm. So I thought that was pretty cool, you know. But yeah, man, like if you get a chance, if you're a big Ninja Turtles fan, I would recommend you get these figures. Especially if you like that cartoon. That cartoon was dope, man. They had a lot of cool episodes, man. They have that episode where Donnie meets Jack Kirby. That's straight out of the Mirage comics. You know, that was pretty dope. You know, so yeah, they have the Ultrons, and yeah, I think they even do a Battle of New York now that I think about it, because they come back and then Karai plays the Shredder. You know, so yeah, it's a pretty dope cartoon. You know, and I'm a big fan of having all my turtles the same size. I'm not a big fan of the Seth Rogen latest movie. Well, actually, I like the movie. I just don't like how the turtles look, man. Except for the Leonardo, you know. And and then they play my guy Donatello again. You know, it's just I can't get behind it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comments below what you think about him. If you got the figure already, you know, much love. I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.
I got hella action figures. Damn right. The collection keeps getting bigger. Hell, man, will it ever stop? Hell no. I don't know. Look what I bought. New stuff. Brand new exclusives. Comic-Con, watch you do it. I buy them when they're on sale. Oh hell, that's the lie I tell. Gotta have all the Marvel Legends. Why is Deadpool so expensive? Got a 0 interest credit card. My family should be alarmed. Oh yes, CFA at its gots. Montoys, collectors hating gots. Montoys, Crush Comics gots. Montoys, what are Montoys? My toys. CFA at its gots. Montoys, collectors hating gots. Montoys, Crush Comics gots. Montoys, what are Montoys? My toys. What you know about articulation and the advanced stances I be making without using any of that. Whack museum wax, oh yes, with straight precision and focus. You tip one over and it's so hopeless. Too many times to recall. I would hear him fall, walk in the room and I would bawl. Like, how could that happen? How can my figure take a fall so tragic? So I got some fish wire to seamlessly hang him. Two fly chicks broke a storm beat banging. And how about that Harley Quinn? That play arts figure could make a man sin. And I know y'all, it's a borderline doll, but a doll nonetheless. Oh yes, CFA at its gots, my toys. Collectors hating gots, my toys. Crush comics gots, my toys. What are my toys? My toys. Big bad toy store got my toys. Collectors hating gots, my toys. Alameda Toy Show gots, my toys. What are my toys? My toys. I really enjoy toy biz. I don't like Jack's figs as if I stole from kids. They're hella ugly to me, simply rubbery. I'm glad they stopped doing toys for WWE.